The first story, the biggest story in all of real estate right now, is the story about these two guys right here, the Alexander brothers, twin brothers, real estate moguls from Miami. The one on the right, if you're looking at the picture, is Oren Alexander. These are some of the biggest realtors in the country. They were, I think, top five, number one for 5 years for Douglas Elliman. They started their own firm. His brother, Alon, twin brother, if you pull up that picture again, actually runs a security company that the family runs. They have a third brother, Tal, who runs the real estate company. There's a lot of brothers going on here, and actually know the fourth brother, but he's not involved in this. But what are some of the shocking allegations that these Alexander brothers are dealing with? Rape, apparently, sexual assault, and a lot of heinous situations that apparently have happened here. How much truth is in this, though? Because we've seen stories out there, the Me Too movement. Well, it didn't really happen. Did it happen? I don't know. Some of these allegations are true. Some are not. We're going to have that conversation today. But the co-founder of a real estate brokerage called Official, they used to be Douglas Elliman, the A-team. If you're not familiar with them, it's okay, because we're going to have a big conversation about allegations. So they've been accused. At first, it hit the airwaves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 allegations. Oh, shit. Then it turned to 10. Now it's as much as 30 allegations. Women have come out and said, yeah, some inappropriate things have happened. So here's the catch, though. The incident spanned from 20 years ago, with most of the incidents occurring between 2010 and 2012, and one as recently as 2020. The majority of stories have surfaced again from 2010, all mostly occurring in New York. Not all, mostly occurring in New York. Here it is. There's a story at this one place called Sir Ivan's Castle. Now, we all know who Hugh Hefner is. This is the Hugh Hefner of the Hamptons in New York. He has a castle in the Hamptons. We're ready. Wait for it. Here you go. Hide your kids. Known for wild parties, orgies, and a sex dungeon. And apparently the brothers had their own room there. Now it's as much as 30 women claiming inappropriate sexual misconduct. Some have claimed things as such as rape. The attorney for the Alexanders has come out and said for behalf of the brothers, denied all allegations and has painted the lawsuits as ready, wait for it, a blatant shakedown and money grab. That's that story. Compartmentalize that for a second. Show those guys again. Two good-looking guys, brothers, multi-millionaires. Why would they do it? By the way, they're both married. They've been married for a handful of years now. One has kids already. Again, a lot of these stories are from 10, 15 years ago. W2F. Story number 2. There's a congressman, Matt Gaetz. He's part of the Trump camp. He actually helped. Who did he help bring down, Brandon? Speaker of the House. Yes. Kevin McCarthy, exactly. Yeah. Great hair on this guy. Spent time with him at the Tim Pool event. And he's now being investigated for ethics irregularities, these probe over sexual misconduct and drug allegations. Here's the story. The Committee of House Ethics has revealed they've spoken with more than a dozen witnesses, issued 25 subpoenas, and reviewed thousands of documents. Basically, in this probe, Gaetz, much like the attorney for the Alexander brothers, came out and said this is a smear campaign, and he has denied any wrongdoings. Okay, gotcha.
Can I add to that?
Yes.
So on top of this, the Department of Justice introduced these same allegations against Matt Gaetz. Again, I'm not defending the guy, but the Department of Justice did a full investigation into this, and they concluded that they couldn't bring charges against the guy. So now the House Ethics Committee has reopened the same thing because they have a broader scope, because they don't just have to have like a jury. They don't need like a yes or no, a conviction. So this has already gone through, and the Biden DOJ discovered that they couldn't convict this guy. So now the House Ethics Committee has opened it.
Thank you for that, because that's going to frame the question. Everybody get out your red and green. All you have to do is lift it up. Just do it high. You're absolutely right. It was about a year ago that they investigated him. They basically cleared him all wrongdoings, and they said, you like sequels? But here's round 2, because we're going after him again. Again, allegations. So here's my question, and thank you for framing that. On the surface, all these allegations are serious and heinous when you're talking about drugs, raping, misconduct, not good stuff for people in Congress, not business leaders, number one people in real estate, very powerful and successful men. Yes? Here's my question. Just based on allegations alone, when you hear stories like this, do you automatically think the person is guilty, or do you think it's more of a targeted smear campaign? So green if you think they're guilty, red if you think if it's a smear campaign. Just on the surface. In general, when you hear stories like this, green if guilty, red target of a smear campaign. Hold it up high. So green guilty, smear campaign.
I don't know.
Nat, I don't have time for we don't know.
Okay.
You're saying smear campaign. Nat still doesn't know the difference between red and green. Okay. Let's start with you. You say guilty, even though you just came out and said, hey, listen, I'm not defending him, but they acquitted him. Why do you think that when stories surface like this, allegations, you automatically go to guilty?
Maybe it's just personal experience coupled with a lot of the times these tend to have the same profile. The people tend to have the same profile, and you've heard rumblings of allegations before I've ever seen them presented in real life. So you'll have rumblings behind closed doors, and then when something like this happens, I'm just not shocked. When Russell Brand was accused of everything, he outwardly speaks on his podcast about how he probably did sexually assault women when he was in the UK, and then allegations come out about 20 years later, and everyone's like, it's a smear campaign. Is it a smear campaign if he was openly admitting to it? Of course, I believe in the presumption of innocence, and I don't want these people to be convicted on the presumption of innocence, which is why I think this is a difficult question for us to answer. But at the end of the day, if I'm going to be honest about my bias, 100%, I think a lot of these people would be guilty if I was interacting with them.
Okay, gotcha. But there's a difference between sexual misconduct, hitting, allegations. We'll show you some memes in a second, and full-on rape.
Yeah, 100%.
Sexual misconduct. Brandon, you put up guilty.
No, I put up the red. So
Okay.
I think this you have to frame this in the way of what's the context behind the allegations, and what's the motivation behind suddenly bringing them up? Because we know without with some degree of certainty that people like Clinton, Epstein, Hunter Biden, the media is going out of their way to protect them and like hide this stuff. And then a lot of the people that do get framed with allegations, like Tate and Trump, and then Russell Brand, what do they all have in common? They're speaking out against the establishment. I mean, I know there's like a varying degree of how much you guys follow politics, but like we all agree there's like an establishment group of people that are like a club that's exclusive, that wants things to be a certain way, wants to push a certain agenda, and they get upset when people rock that boat and push a different agenda. I mean, is that something we could all agree on?
100%.
Yeah, so I think that's the question is, who's like, what are the people saying? Like, what's the context of what they're doing? And like, I think that's the validity of the allegations. If they're suddenly rocking the boat, the establishment, and then the allegations come out, then it's a suspicious situation.
Okay. You put up that you thought that they were innocent. You're the only one on this side other than Brandon that you thought that you're not necessarily believing allegations.
Yeah.
Why did you say that?
I think that a lot of people have a reason for accusing people of doing this. Like, do they want their 15 minutes of fame? Do they have like a vendetta against them? Do they want money? Like, what's behind it?
What do you think it would be in the case of the real estate mogul guys?
Well, it sounds like they have a lot of money.
They do.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they have a lot to lose with their families and the empire they built.
What do you think it would be for the Congressman Matt Gaetz?
Everything.
Okay.
Yeah, he would lose his reputation.
Reputation, ding, 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 ding. Okay, gotcha. So you're more inclined to, I'm not believing this shit. You know, they say believe all women. Why don't you believe all women?
Well, with the Me Too act that was going on, everyone was just jumping on the bandwagon. So we kind of lost our,
your North Star. Now, when you said everyone was jumping on the bandwagon, what do you mean? Do you mean all women were jumping on the bandwagon? Because I don't think all men were jumping on this thing.
No. A lot of women jumped on it just to get their 15 minutes of fame.
So you're saying women jumped on it to get their 15 minutes of fame? So
because everyone else is doing it.
Okay, gotcha. So you're saying that women were like, all right, cool, like I can make some money off this? Because this isn't exactly like
but not all of them,
good kind of fame.
Obviously, like some of it was true.
Yes.
But I think a lot of people are trying to take the easy way out to make money, get famous.
You don't need to happen to fix this, though, is that they need to establish the precedent. There's the same degree of like a penalty if somebody falsely creates allegations against you. Because right now there's nothing like that in place. Like if you make a fake allegation against somebody, it should be like the same charge as if you raped somebody.
Okay. McQueen, weigh in on this. You know, by the way, clean as a whistle out here. This guy's a stand-up guy. These fucking allegations, they're like, you've seen them go on, whether it's Tate, whether it's these guys, whether it's this, whether it's that. You know, when you see these allegations, are you just like, nah? Like, how are you processing?
I agree with him. Like, I think that when it depends on the person, like, for example, with Tate, like, he's speaking on things that everyone deep down knows is the truth.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, it's an agenda being pushed, and obviously they want it to stay that way. So when you have someone who has that much power and he's pushing a certain, the real agenda, I wouldn't even say it's an agenda, I would say it's the truth, then it's going against what their plan is. So I think when it comes to certain people, I'm like, nah, they're just trying to shut him up. Like, even with the Ryan Garcia thing, like, I think they gave him the whole, like, you know, he took steroids thing because they're mad that Devin Haney lost and because he's speaking out about, you know, like things like Alex Jones and, you know, just a bunch of other, like, you know, truths and stuff. So
this great point. This, I guess, a larger conversation would be, you know, you're familiar with the World Economic Forum, what they're doing with Klaus Schwab.
Yeah, globalism.
They said that the number one globalism, exactly. They said the number one fear that they have over the next few years is misinformation and disinformation.
Bullshit.
You don't know what to believe. You don't know who to believe, right? There used to be, you know, when the internet came up, it was the information age. Now it's the validation age. It's like, how do we know it's true? We got to validate that thing. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Listen, if they're
Listen, Linda. Go ahead.
okay, because I'm kind of in the middle with a lot of my my opinions. I do think that the Me Too movement is a bag of shit because women know, especially if you are over 18 years old, you know what you're gonna get yourself into. And if you're gonna go to a prick's hotel or date a prick or anything, you know how pricks work. So, like, don't come over here to tell me, you know, I did it because I wanted a movie. And he made, don't freaking be a movie star.
Yeah.
Do OnlyFans and cook like me or something. I don't know.
Just for the record, how do quote unquote pricks look or pricks work?
Whoever, you know the guy. You know,
I don't.
douchebag look.
I'm into girls, so I don't know what
You
going,
know,
it's like
like,
going
you
back
know,
to
the guy that has the money and that has a bunch of girls. What make you think you're gonna be any special? Like, you know what you got yourself into. Like, don't get yourself into things. I'm not saying that the guys are acting right, or I'm saying that you know what you were getting yourself into. So now you're gonna come out after 20 years. What? It hurt you now, but it didn't hurt you 20 years ago. What changed?
Well,
Obviously, the money.
Are there NDAs? I want to know about the NDAs.
NDAs. How stupid are these rich people? I signed NDAs when I was a dominatrix.
Listen, here's the question. They didn't necessarily have all this money 10, 15 years ago. They were on the come up. They were on the verge of it. These guys, talking about the Alexander brothers, you know, the Gates stuff is more recent. But even then, you're saying that girls, quote unquote, should know what they're getting themselves into?
Well, no, what I'm saying is that something is being raped, forcibly raped, and something is, I want this hot guy, this piece of chocolate right here that has $100,000. I want a bag. I'm going to go and do whatever. You know what I mean?
McQueen, you need a moment?
I do. I might need to go to the bathroom real quick. Yeah.
Come on, we adults. We know how girls are around people that are rich, unfortunately, you know, and then they feel bad because they get on another level, which is own what you did.
Okay.
But what about
Let me ask Marcel, because Marcel, when we met, we were literally on a private mansion, on a private island, literally took a private jet, the whole deal, and you were like one of the only few girls there. I think there was like 3 women and like 20 dudes.
Damn.
It was like an influencer, rich trip type of thing, straight up. What's your experience in this world being like, kind of like, and you were the one organizing the event. What's your experience in being a beautiful woman organizing this very high-end event with very successful men?
Yeah, so my experience is not very, very nice because I do believe that a lot of women, they go to these places with not knowing the reality of what's going to happen there. So you're saying that, oh, you need to know what you're getting yourself into. It's very tough because nobody tells you, yeah, come here, we're going to do all this sex party and we're going to all be naked and that's what's going to happen. But once you are in that situation, you're already there and it's hard for you to kind of escape, you know, because you are already in a position where it's like famous people with like a lot of money and a lot of power, and it's very complicated for these girls to be out there and be like, that's what happened to me, that's what I went through, because most of the people are not going to believe that. So even I'm not saying that I went through situations like that, because that's very serious, but I've been through situations very disrespectful and situations that I need to be very strong and very straight to the point and position myself, because like Adam said, I was working with a lot of millionaires and people with a lot of money and power, so I had to position myself, but not many girls have this knowledge and way to go around things and, you know, and let people know what is the reason they are there.
What they don't want to
Yes.
do.
So, whoa. If you like that one, click right here to watch the full SOSCAST. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel.